If you're over 50 and still doing these 4 healthy things, you might be aging twice as fast and not even know it. You know, I've been a doctor for over 45 years, and in all that time, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that aging isn't something we can escape, but how we age. Now that we have some say in. I've sat across from thousands of patients, men and women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, some sharp as a tack, still full of life. Others, well, their bodies were aging faster than their birthdays. And what always struck me was this. Many of them were trying hard. They were doing yoga, drinking smoothies, counting calories, watching every label in the grocery store. They weren't reckless. They were disciplined. And yet, they felt tired, foggy, older than they should. I had to ask myself, how could people be doing everything right and still feel like they were falling apart? So I dug deeper. I started looking at the habits they had, the ones they believed were helping them stay young. And you know what I found? Some of these so-called healthy habits were silently making them age faster. Not just on the outside, but deep inside, at the cellular level. Today, I want to share 4 of the most common ones I see. These are habits that most people never question, because they've been told they're good for you. But I've seen what they can do over time, and I believe once you understand the full story, you'll never look at these the same way again. My hope isn't to scare you, it's to empower you, because once you know what's really happening inside your body, you can begin to make wiser, kinder choices, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. So let's begin. The first habit is one that many people over 50 are actually proud of. But done wrong, it can backfire. Badly. Let's talk about the first habit, the one that looks like the ultimate anti-aging tool, but in reality, may be breaking your body down faster than time itself. Habit number 1, overexercising. When pushing harder starts pushing you over the edge. Let's start with a habit that many people over 50 feel proud of: exercise, and rightly so. Moving your body is essential to aging well, but what most don't realize is that at a certain age, too much of a good thing becomes harmful. These days, it's not uncommon for older adults to throw themselves into high-intensity workouts, CrossFit, boot camps, distance running. They track every step, chase personal records, push through soreness, and wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. But here's what most people, and even many doctors, don't talk about. Exercise is a form of stress. When we're younger, our bodies bounce back quickly. The stress of exercise triggers growth and repair. But after 50, that stress lingers. Recovery slows. Hormones shift. Inflammation takes longer to resolve. And instead of rebuilding, your body starts breaking down. Alan's story. Alan was 61, recently retired. After decades behind a desk, he was determined to reclaim his health. So he went all in, morning cardio, heavy lifting, tennis on weekends. At first it worked. He dropped weight, felt energized, looked younger. But by the end of the first year, something changed. He was tired, always sore, sleeping poorly. He felt older than before he started. When he came to me, his labs showed chronically high cortisol, early signs of testosterone decline, and inflammation markers off the charts. This was classic overtraining syndrome, a problem I'm seeing more and more in older patients trying to catch up on fitness. What happens inside the body after 50? The body's internal systems change. Muscle repair slows down. The micro-tears from exercise take longer to heal. Hormonal response weakens. Testosterone and growth hormone don't spike like they used to. Inflammation stays longer. Soreness that lasted 1 day now lasts 3. Cortisol, the stress hormone, lingers. And long-term high cortisol means weak immune system, disrupted sleep-brain fog, loss of muscle and collagen, faster cellular aging. So instead of exercise making you younger, it starts aging you, silently. Red flags of overexercising. You might be doing too much if you feel drained for hours after working out. You're sore more than 2 days. You need sugar or caffeine to recover. You can't sleep well at night. You feel anxious, irritable, or emotionally flat. These aren't signs of weakness. They're your body's warning lights. What to do? Instead, adaptive movement. The answer isn't to stop moving. The answer is to move smarter. I tell my patients to focus on sustainable, functional, and gentle movement that supports their energy, not drains it. Example, weekly movement plan. Monday, 30-minute walk outdoors. Tuesday, gentle strength training, resistance bands, bodyweight squats, wall push-ups. Wednesday, light stretching or yoga. Thursday, swimming or slow cycling. Friday, Pilates or light dumbbell routine. Saturday, nature walk or gardening. Sunday, rest day or mobility-focused stretching. This routine supports your joints, your nervous system, and your heart without overwhelming your recovery capacity. What really matters? Mobility, not muscles. When people ask me, "Doc, what's the best way to stay young?" I don't tell them to build big muscles. I tell them to get off the floor without help, walk upstairs with ease, carry groceries confidently, play with grandkids without fear of injury. That's real youth. That's real independence. You're not training for a gold medal. You're training for life. My golden rule of aging and exercise. If your workout steals energy from the next 24 hours, it's aging you. Your movement should give back to your day, not take away from it. So the next time you step on the treadmill or unroll your yoga mat, ask yourself, am I moving to care for my body or to punish it? This is one of the most common traps I see, but it's also one of the easiest to fix. Once you understand how aging really works. Ready for the next one? Because this next habit has been promoted for decades as the holy grail of heart health. And yet, it might be one of the biggest nutritional mistakes of the modern age. Habit number 2, eating low fat. Everything. Let's talk about one of the most persistent and damaging nutrition myths of the last half-century. The idea that eating fat makes you fat, sick, and old. It started in the 1980s, but its effects are still showing up in my patients today. You see, we were told, by governments, media, even doctors, that fat was the enemy. And we listened. Butter disappeared from tables. Egg yolks were thrown out. Supermarket shelves were filled with fat-free yogurts, low-fat cookies, margarine, and anything with a light label. We thought we were doing the right thing. But what most people didn't realize, what many still don't, is that in cutting out fat, we cut out something essential to youth, vitality, and longevity. I'll never forget Sarah. She was 72 and had been a piano teacher for over 40 years. Sharp, elegant, kind. But when she came to me, she looked tired. Her skin was dull, her hair was thinning, and she complained of being cold all the time. Her memory wasn't as sharp as it used to be. When I reviewed her diet, everything clicked into place. She had been following a strict low-fat regimen for over 2 decades. Skim milk, fat-free salad dressing, egg whites only, no oils, no nuts. She told me she hadn't eaten a full avocado in years. Her blood work showed low levels of essential fatty acids, vitamin D deficiency, and imbalanced hormones. Her cholesterol was perfect by traditional standards, but her body was suffering. Why? Because fat isn't optional. It's critical. Your body uses fat to build every single cell membrane. Your brain is mostly fat. Your skin relies on fat to stay supple and hydrated. Your hormones, like estrogen, testosterone, and cortisol, are synthesized from cholesterol and fat. When you strip away dietary fat, you rob your body of the raw materials it needs to function, repair, and stay youthful. But the story gets worse. You see, food companies didn't just remove fat. They had to replace it with something. So they added sugar, starches, gums, and chemicals to make low-fat food taste normal. That's why fat-free yogurt often contains more sugar than a donut. That light peanut butter, it's filled with maltodextrin and fillers. These ultra-processed replacements raise blood sugar, feed inflammation, and contribute to weight gain and premature aging. Ironically, the very things people were trying to avoid. Fat, in its natural form, does not age you. In fact, it protects you. Healthy fats reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, support brain function, and help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Traditional diets around the world, Mediterranean, Japanese, Nordic, all include healthy fats. And studies consistently show that people who eat more of the right fats have better heart health, sharper minds, and stronger bodies as they age. So what are the right fats? Olive oil, avocados, wild-caught salmon, sardines, walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, chia seeds, pasture-raised eggs, a little grass-fed butter or ghee. These fats nourish you at the cellular level. They help keep your skin smooth, your joints mobile, your brain clear. They satisfy your appetite naturally, so you don't end up craving sugar or overeating. They're nature's built-in anti-aging tools. And what should you avoid? Industrial seed oils, canola, soybean, corn oil. These are often found in fast food, processed snacks, and bottled dressings. They're unstable, inflammatory, and have no place in a healthy aging plan. Also, watch out for fat-free or light products that are full of sugar, stabilizers, or artificial flavorings. If it's low-fat but high in ingredients you can't pronounce, it's not healthy. Now, back to Sarah. We didn't overhaul her entire diet overnight. That kind of change never sticks. But we began adding in healthy fats, slowly, gently. Half an avocado in the morning, a spoonful of extra virgin olive oil on her salad, whole eggs a few times a week, a handful of walnuts as an afternoon snack. Within 3 months, her energy improved. Her skin regained color. Her memory stabilized. She smiled more. She told me she felt whole again. That's what the right fats can do. They don't just support your body, they support your spirit. So if you've spent years fearing fat, I want to invite you to reconsider. Not because it's trendy, not because it's in a new book, but because your body, especially after 50, needs it. Not too much, not deep-fried or greasy, but clean, whole, natural fats that work with your biology, not against it. Don't let old myths rob you of strength and softness, of sharpness and satisfaction. Fat doesn't make you old. It keeps you alive. And with that, let's move on to the next habit. One that seems harmless, even helpful, but when overdone, can silently drain your energy, disrupt your sleep, and age you from the inside out. Let's talk about overhydration. Habit number 3, drinking too much water. Now, this next one might surprise you. Every time I bring it up, people tilt their heads and ask, "Doctor, isn't drinking more water always a good thing?" I get it. We've been told for years that hydration is the key to health. Flushes toxins, boosts energy, improves skin, supports kidneys, cushions joints. All true. But most people miss this. You can have too much. And as you age, that excess begins to quietly disrupt your body's internal balance in ways that accelerate aging. Let me tell you about David. He was 75, sharp, active, took care of himself, walked every morning, solved puzzles, stayed involved in his family business. He drank close to a gallon of water daily, always had a bottle with him. He believed being ultra-hydrated was the secret to longevity. Then strange things started happening. He felt lightheaded, not dizzy, just slightly off. His appetite dipped. He was waking up twice a night to urinate and still felt thirsty in the morning. Then came episodes of confusion. Nothing dramatic, just standing in the kitchen, unsure why he was there. That's when he came to see me. We ran tests. No infection, no heart problem, no signs of neurological damage, but his sodium levels were low, not dangerously low, but enough to cause mild hyponatremia. That's when excess water dilutes the sodium in your blood. It's more common than you think, especially in older adults. Your body doesn't just run on water. It runs on electrolyte balance: sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium. These minerals control everything from muscle movement to heart rhythm. Overloading on water flushes them out. Young people often recover quickly. Their kidneys work efficiently. Their thirst mechanism is sharper. But after 50, kidney function begins to decline. Sometimes slowly, sometimes more noticeably. The body loses its precision in handling water and salt. And when you constantly flush your system without replacing minerals, you create an internal drought, even while you're surrounded by water. The symptoms of this low-grade imbalance are subtle but powerful: fatigue, brain fog, cramps, anxiety, restless sleep, poor focus, even irregular heartbeat. And many people mistake those signs as dehydration, so they drink even more, worsening the problem. This doesn't mean you should stop drinking water. It means hydration is about balance, not quantity. Especially as we age, we need to be smarter. Listen to your body. Drink when you're thirsty. Sip throughout the day instead of forcing water down. Pair it with natural electrolytes, a pinch of sea salt in water, slices of cucumber or lemon, a cup of coconut water, or bone broth at night. Let your hydration adapt to your day. Less water on cool, inactive days, more when you're out walking in the heat. Here's something simple I tell patients. Stop chasing clear pee. That myth about needing crystal clear urine? Forget it. Clear urine can actually mean your body's being overflushed. A light yellow is perfectly fine. It means your kidneys are working and your electrolytes are intact. Also, if you're waking up more than once a night to urinate, it may be time to cut back on evening fluids. I often suggest tapering off after dinner. Let your kidneys rest overnight. Good sleep matters more than that extra glass at bedtime. Your brain does its deepest detox work while you sleep. When that sleep is broken, your memory, your mood, your focus, they all pay the price. David, once we adjusted his intake, reduced his water to about 2 liters a day, added electrolytes, and stopped fluids after 8 p.m., he improved in less than a week. The fog cleared. His sleep normalized. No more confusion. He didn't drink less. He drank smarter. The takeaway here is simple. More isn't better. Not with exercise. Not with vitamins. Not with water. Aging isn't about how much you do. It's about how well your body handles what you do. At this stage in life, it's no longer about pushing through. It's about finding rhythm, moderation, and precision. So before you pour another glass just because a blog told you to drink a gallon a day, ask yourself, am I actually thirsty? Am I helping my body or overloading it? Because your body speaks in whispers. Muscle cramps, sleepless nights, scattered thoughts. When we don't listen, those whispers become warnings. But if we tune in, if we hydrate with intelligence instead of excess, the body rewards us with clarity, calm, and strength. And now, we arrive at the final habit, one that hides under the mask of discipline, one that I see often in people who deeply care about their health, people who read every label, cut out sugar, gluten, dairy, anything with a name they can't pronounce. But in that pursuit of purity, they lose something far more important: joy, flexibility, connection. Let's talk about the obsession with clean eating. Habit number 4, obsessing over clean eating. Now, let's talk about the 4th habit. It's not extreme exercise. It's not low-fat dieting. It's not even overhydration. This one hides behind the appearance of discipline. It wears the mask of doing the right thing. I see it most in the people who care deeply about their health, who read every label, follow every trend, cut out gluten, sugar, dairy, caffeine, nightshades, soy, legumes, oils, and anything remotely processed. They live in a world of rules and restrictions, believing that the cleaner their plate, the longer they'll live. But here's what they don't realize. When you fear food, you age faster. I call it nutritional anxiety, a kind of orthorexia, the obsession with pure eating. And I've seen it turn meals into math, nourishment into stress, and dinner into a lonely, silent ritual. Let me tell you about Michelle. She was 58 when she came to see me. Slim, vibrant eyes, articulate. She brought a notebook of everything she ate, meticulously logged, down to the last pinch of Himalayan salt. She'd cut out gluten, dairy, soy, sugar, meat, eggs, and most fruit. She only ate organic vegetables, soaked seeds, sprouted grains, fermented greens, and drank only filtered spring water. On paper, she was a model of perfect nutrition, but she felt awful. She was fatigued, isolated, constipated, and always anxious. Her blood work was showing borderline anemia, low B12, and early signs of muscle wasting. So what was going on? The answer was simple, but hard to accept. She was undernourished, not in calories, but in freedom. In her quest for perfect eating, she had stripped away the richness, the color, the joy of food. Her diet was sterile, repetitive, fear-driven, and her body responded by tightening up, holding stress, losing resilience. You see, food is more than fuel. It's emotional, it's cultural, it's connective. Meals are where stories are shared, where laughter lives, where the nervous system calms down. When eating becomes about restriction and rigidity, the body enters a subtle state of chronic stress. Cortisol rises, digestion slows, nutrient absorption drops, your immune system takes a hit. And over time, you feel older, not stronger. I'm not saying we shouldn't be mindful of what we eat. Of course we should. But there's a line, and when clean eating becomes obsessive, the body pays the price. I tell my patients, health is not found in the perfect bowl of quinoa. It's found in balance, in relationships, in allowing yourself to enjoy a meal, even if it has a little butter, a little wine, a little sugar. If those things bring you joy and connection, they nourish you. One of the most anti-aging things you can do isn't to cut out more food. It's to sit at a table with people you love and eat with presence. Chew slowly. Smile between bites. Let yourself savor, not just survive. Because digestion starts with the nervous system. If you're stressed while you eat, your body can't even access the nutrients you're trying so hard to absorb. Michelle? We started small. I asked her to add just one joyful thing to each meal. Not subtract, add. A handful of berries, a drizzle of honey, a slice of sourdough bread with real butter. She resisted at first, but slowly her body softened. Her smile returned. She reconnected with her sister over brunch. Her digestion improved. Her sleep deepened. She stopped counting bites and started living again. You see, aging well isn't about control. It's about connection. With your food, with your body, with others. The body doesn't thrive in fear. It thrives in flow, in warmth, in rhythm. So if you've fallen into the trap of obsessive clean eating, ask yourself, am I eating to live, or am I trying to avoid dying? Because there's a big difference. One is rooted in love, the other in fear. And only one supports true, lasting vitality. Let yourself enjoy food again. Cook with olive oil, share dessert. Try something new without Googling every ingredient. Let food be nourishment, not punishment. In the end, your body isn't looking for perfection. It's looking for peace. So there you have it. 4 habits that seem healthy, on the surface, but when done the wrong way or taken too far, can quietly accelerate aging. Exercising too hard, too often, avoiding fats like they're poison, drinking water like it's a race, and fearing food so deeply that joy disappears from the table. None of these started with bad intentions. In fact, they all began with hope, a desire to live longer, to stay sharp, to feel good in our skin. But somewhere along the way, we were sold the idea that more is better. More effort, more discipline, more control. And in chasing that, we forgot what truly keeps us young. I've spent my entire adult life sitting across from patients, listening to their fears, their hopes, their daily routines. And if there's one truth I've learned, it's this: aging isn't the enemy. Fear is. You see, I've met 90-year-olds who still garden, who still flirt, who still tell jokes with a sparkle in their eyes. And I've met 55-year-olds who are already old inside, rigid, tired, afraid to live. The difference isn't in their supplements or their blood work. It's in their relationship with life. Your body is listening to you. It hears every harsh word you say about yourself in the mirror. It remembers every time you ate in guilt instead of gratitude. It stores the stress of every night you slept with worry in your chest. But it also responds beautifully to kindness, to small movements that feel good, to real food that satisfies, to laughter, touch, rest, music, and meaning. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to biohack your way to immortality. You just need to treat your body like someone you love. Aging well is not about avoiding death. It's about deepening life. So maybe the real question isn't, how do I stay young? Maybe it's, how do I stay alive in the moments I still have? If this video gave you something to think about, I'm glad. Because my job isn't to scare you into change. It's to remind you that health isn't punishment. It's permission. Permission to move slowly, to eat joyfully, to drink wisely, to live gently. And if you're ready for more honest, compassionate conversations about aging well, I invite you to subscribe, not for quick fixes, not for empty trends, but for truth, for stories, for guidance that honors the season of life you're in. Until next time, be kind to your body. It's the only home your soul has ever known.